shadow. That shadow part of yourself that you don't necessarily know. You may have heard about it nowadays, the shadow work, Carl Jung, the subconscious mind. But chances are, because it is not a well-known topic, more well-known nowadays than ever, but it's not a well-known, mass-known topic just yet, you probably don't know your shadow. You probably don't know your subconscious mind and who it is that you truly are. How can I say that? Well, because for a while, I didn't know mine. And I still don't completely know mine. It's an ongoing battle that you will do and take part in for a very long time. If, that is, you really want to know your shadow and know yourself. You see, these kind of things, they take time, just like anything worthwhile. But what does it mean to know your shadow? What does it mean to know the inner parts of yourself? And again, how can I even sit here and say that you might not know the inside parts of yourself? Well, truth be told, we learn to be unconscious of what we go through many times in our society. We fail to realize and remember the things that we go through and how we reacted to them. You see, every little reaction that we have in life to the things that happen to us, especially the things that are most emotionally involved and engaging, they become a part of us. They become a part of how we interact with others and carry ourselves on a day-to-day basis. And we don't even realize that this is what's going on. We just continue acting the ways that we think we always have. We continue acting the ways that feel most credible or that make the most sense. So, what does it mean to get to know your shadow? It means to look into those inner parts of yourself. Those deep down parts that maybe are not so pretty. That are hiding under the leaves. They're hiding in the back of the bookshelf. They're hiding in the back of the fridge. Where you see all the stuff up front, it's real pretty, that the colors are nice, they make you hungry, so on and so forth. But there's a rotten egg roll all the way in the back of the fridge. And if you don't find that thing for too long, it's going to be stinking. Right? That's kind of a weird analogy, but this is what happens. We don't realize until, might not ever realize, most people don't ever realize that there's an egg roll stinking in the back of the fridge. There's a nasty bag of lettuce or a nasty bag of spinach in the back of the fridge that's been there for a month, 2 months, 3 months. And for the sake of the analogy, that's like years, 10 years, 20 years in your actual life. It might be your entire life. Most of our trauma comes from our childhood. We set our childhood sets us up for the trauma that we will continue to experience throughout life. That's the point of subconscious mind teachings. That's the point of shadow work, to integrate and learn about your shadow and your deeper self. So you can then see your trauma playing out on a day-to-day basis. You can see what it looks like, so then you can get in front of it and intercept it and make a conscious decision to avoid it or work around it or through it in your day-to-day life. Compared to what normally happens, where we don't realize that's what's happening at all. It just feels like what always has happened. You know those people who are always talking about how they have the worst luck? Oh, that's just my luck. Oh, of course that happened to me. That is exactly what's happening. There is trauma founded somewhere in the mind that is then recreating itself back into the present moment because you're expecting it. You're expecting these things to happen. And what we expect the most emotionally is what we create. It is what we come into on a day-to-day basis. Neville Goddard talks about this when he says that assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it comes to those who it feels most natural to. The feeling of the wish fulfilled grants itself to those who feel most comfortable, most natural within the presence of that wish fulfilled. Now, what does that mean again? Well, in terms of goal seeking and going for something and accomplishing something in your life, many times we see in our societies that we are to put something on a pedestal, that it is greater than us, that we have to work as hard as we possibly absolutely can to get there. But what happens? Most people never get there. So how do we get around that? How do we intercept that timeline and change it to where we do get there? Well, first of all, we don't put it on a pedestal. We work from the state of already having it. This is something that Neville Goddard talks about. This is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's biblical in many senses that I can't quote right now. But it is essentially one of the beginning ones is you reap what you sow. So in the very basis of that states that the feeling of which you are incarnating as day by day is what you will continue to manifest. It is what you will continue to inhabit as your life goes on. And so when you take the time to really, well, here's the backside of this. Let me explain it like this. Here's the backside. We may say that we feel good. We may say that we feel great, that we know how we feel. But oftentimes what we don't realize is that we don't know how we feel. We don't know the underlying emotional trauma that is waiting for us to look at it, that is creating itself in our day-to-day life. We don't see it like that. We don't understand that's what it is. We just continue moving down the path. But if we were to take that time and look at it for what it is and go into it and see it, we would then understand it. And once we understand it, we can let it go. Or we can transform it. We can actually do something with it. Before we do this, it's like trying to play soccer with somebody, but they're playing on the outside of the goalpost. And we're wondering why our soccer ball's not going to them. It just keeps hitting the goalpost. Well, because we don't realize that they're on the outside. They're on the other side of the goalpost. They are outside of the field. We don't see them. That analogy might not be perfect, but you understand what I'm saying. This shadow is what is preceding us, just like a shadow does. The light is bending around you. It's bending around your consciousness. And just like a shadow, if you don't choose to look at it, you don't see the shape of it. But the process of shadow work, the process of subconsciously understanding who you are, is illuminating that shadow. It is illuminating so you can transcend what the shadow is holding you back from. This is understanding your subconscious mind. This is understanding who you truly are. And my friend, my question to you is, will you take the time to understand it? Will you take the time to see and understand who you are, so then you can become even more of who you're meant to be? You see, an analogy that came to mind the other day is that the shadow work is similar to walking down a dark hallway with just the flashlight. As we walk down the hallway, we're looking around. We open the door, let's say, and we're walking down the hallway and we're looking around and we see a carpet on the floor. The carpet's kind of misty, it's gray, it's dingy. It's kind of creepy, right? But we continue looking at it. But we can't look up at all. We're still looking around. We're just showing ourselves the hallway in front of us, just at the ground level, just where we can see at the ground. We can't look at anything else yet. And as we do more of the shadow work, as we understand these sides of ourselves, and we look into our past, and we release trauma, and we transcend trauma and our reactions to those traumas, as we do this, we're slowly illuminating the rest of the room. We're slowly illuminating the walls. And we see the walls, okay, well, they're kind of white. They're not as dingy as the floor is. They're a nicer color. They are not as dark and dingy once again. And then we do more, and we go through the process more, and we get better at intercepting our subconscious, and we realize how much is wrapped into everything that we do, and how much has always been wrapped into everything that we do. And as we do this more and more, we're illuminating the rest of the room, and next thing you know, we see a painting on the wall. This painting we see on the wall, it's beautiful. It's nothing we've ever seen before, and more than anything, it's us. It's us. It's our most beautiful, beloved, created perception of life. It is our true understanding of who we are and what we stand for and what we want to create into the world and what we want to help others realize for themselves. And we continue to look around and then we realize there's paintings everywhere. There's beautiful paintings everywhere around the hallway, and it's all we can see. And my friend, that's when you continue on. You continue to illuminate the rest of the room, and maybe you get to a darker part again, and you have to continue this process. But brother, the paintings on the walls, that's what life is all about. There's no better feeling. There's nothing better than knowing yourself and knowing who you are. This is the process of getting to know yourself, understanding your shadow, and becoming all that you've meant to be. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Drop a comment below. I love you guys. Let's go.